Welcome to the cradle of civilization, a land sacred to three of the world's major religions. The history of Israel and Palestine is a story of conflict, coexistence, and enduring significance. Today, we embark on a journey through time, exploring the rich and complex history of this region. Our journey begins in ancient times. The region known today as Israel and Palestine has been inhabited for thousands of years. The earliest known inhabitants were the Canaanites, who settled here during the Bronze Age. Around 12,000 BCE, the Israelites, a Semitic people, emerged in the Central Highlands. According to the Bible, the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were central figures in early Israelite history. The story of the Exodus, where Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt and into the Promised Land, is a foundational narrative for Jewish identity. In the 10th century BCE, the Israelites established a united monarchy under King Saul, followed by King David, who made Jerusalem his capital, and his son Solomon, who built the first temple. This era marked the peak of ancient Israel's political power. After Solomon's death, the kingdom split into Israel in the north and Judah in the south. Both kingdoms faced numerous threats from surrounding empires. The 8th and 7th centuries BCE were tumultuous. The Assyrians conquered the northern kingdom of Israel in 722 BCE, leading to the dispersal of the 10 tribes. In 586 BCE, the Babylonians destroyed the first temple and exiled many Jews to Babylon. In 539 BCE, Cyprus, the Greater Persia, conquered Babylon and allowed the Jews to return to their homeland, where they rebuilt the Second Temple. This period under Persian rule was relatively peaceful. Alexander the Great's conquests in 332 BCE introduced Hellenistic culture to the region. After his death, his empire fragmented, and Judea fell under the control of the Seleucid Empire. This led to tensions between Hellenized Jews and traditionalists. In 167 BCE, the Maccabean revolt against the Seleucids led to the establishment of the Hasmonean Kingdom, a period of Jewish autonomy. However, this independence was short-lived. By 63 BCE, the Romans had conquered the region. Under Roman rule, significant events included the reign of King Herod, who renovated the Second Temple, and the rise of Jesus of Nazareth, whose followers would establish Christianity. In 70 CE, a Jewish revolt against Rome led to the destruction of the Second Temple, a pivotal event in Jewish history. The subsequent Bar Kokhba revolt in 132 to 136 CE resulted in the further dispersion of Jews, known as the diaspora. The 7th century brought significant change with the rise of Islam. In 637 CE, Muslim Arab armies captured Jerusalem, and the region became part of the Islamic Caliphate. During the 11th century, the Crusades began. European Christian knights established the Kingdom of Jerusalem in 1099, but it was short-lived. In 1187, Sultan, the Muslim leader, recaptured Jerusalem. The Mayulan and later the Mamluk dynasties controlled the region until the Ottoman conquest. For over 4 centuries, starting in 1517, the Ottoman Empire ruled the land. This period was marked by relative stability and religious coexistence. Jerusalem became an important administrative and religious center. The population during this time was diverse, including Muslims, Christians, and Jews living side by side. The Ottomans managed to maintain a delicate balance among the different communities. The end of World War I brought an end to Ottoman rule. The League of Nations granted Britain the mandate to govern Palestine in 1920. This period saw increased Jewish immigration and rising tensions between Jews and Arabs. In 1917, the Balfour Declaration expressed British support for a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This led to significant Jewish immigration, fueled by the Zionist movement seeking to establish a Jewish state. However, the growing Jewish population and land purchases led to the friction with the Arab population, resulting in riots and violence during the 1920s and 1930s. The British struggled to maintain order and address the conflicting national aspirations. After World War II and the Holocaust, international sympathy for the Jewish cause grew. In 1947, the United Nations proposed partitioning Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states. The Jewish leadership accepted the plan, but the Arab states and Palestinian leaders rejected it. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion declared the establishment of the State of Israel. The next day, neighboring Arab states invaded, leading to the First Arab-Israeli War. Israel emerged victorious, but the war created a massive refugee crisis. Approximately 700,000 Palestinians were displaced, an event they referred to as Nakba, or catastrophe. The war reshaped the region's demographics and set the stage for ongoing conflict. The aftermath of the 1948 war left a profound impact on Palestinians. Many ended up in refugee camps in neighboring Arab countries where they have remained for generations. The Nakba remains a central element of Palestinian identity and grievance. The United Nations established the UNRWA to provide relief and support to Palestinian refugees, but the issue of their right to return or compensation remains unresolved and contentious. The decades following 1948 saw repeated conflicts and shifts in control. The 1956 Suez Crisis involving Israel, Britain, and France against Egypt was a notable episode. In 1967, the Six-Day War dramatically altered the region. Israel captured the West Bank, Gaza Strip, Sinai Peninsula, and Golan Heights, expanding its territory and placing millions of Palestinians under Israeli military occupation. Israel's occupation of these territories led to the establishment of Israeli settlements, particularly in the West Bank, which remains a major point of contention. The occupation has had profound social, economic, and political impacts on Palestinians. Despite the ongoing conflict, there have been numerous attempts at peace. In 1979, the Camp David Accords led to a peace treaty between Israel and Egypt, the first between Israel and an Arab country. The first Intifada, a Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation, began in 1987. It brought international attention to the Palestinian plight and led to the Oslo Accords in 1993, which aimed to achieve a two-state solution. The Oslo Accords established the Palestinian Authority and envisioned a process toward Palestinian statehood. However, the peace process faced significant setbacks and criticisms from both sides. The second Intifada erupted in 2000, leading to widespread violence and further complicating peace efforts. It resulted in a deepening mistrust and hardening of positions. Today, the Israel-Palestine conflict remains unresolved. The Gaza Strip, controlled by Hamas, has seen multiple conflicts with Israel, leading to severe humanitarian crisis. The West Bank continues to experience tension and violence. Despite the challenges, efforts for peace and coexistence persist. Civil society groups, international organizations, and some political leaders continue to seek a resolution to this enduring conflict. The history of Israel and Palestine is a testament to the enduring human spirit. It is a history marked by pain and resilience, conflict and coexistence. As we look to the future, the pursuit of peace and understanding remains paramount. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. May the future bring peace and prosperity to this ancient and sacred land.